co-ed sleepover?
Yeah, a co-ed sleepover. You got a problem with that?
And no violence.
It avoided all the cliches of the other shows, you know, the action shows.
But still went to #1 on the WB.
Hey, you know, this isn't just a silly little overly sentimental show. It's pretty good.
In the next hour, we'll get up close and personal with the young stars who have become sex symbols against the odds.
I'm single. I am not with anyone, but I wish I could.
Oh yes, I've blossomed. You know, I look different, but I like it.
We'll explore how TV impresario Aaron Spelling brought his Midas touch to the series.
All I can say is miracles do happen. I mean, no one suspected what this show would be.
And we'll find out about all the drama, on screen and off.
She was tired of playing the goody-goody all the time. She hated the show. She wanted Aaron Spelling to fire her.
Well, every family has its ups and downs. Join us for a revealing look into the world of the little show that could as we go inside Seventh Heaven. With little fanfare, Seventh Heaven premiered on the WB network in August 1996. Back then, the network was known for sitcoms like The Wayans Brothers and Unhappily Ever After, which tried to attract young viewers with camp and a healthy dose of sex appeal. Writer for TV Guide, Mark Schwed.
There were a lot of people who thought that television was out of control, that there was too much sex, too much violence, and nothing suitable for families, especially children, in what used to be called the family hour on primetime television.
I don't remember the shows on 6 years ago, but there are very few shows on with both the mother and the father and the children.
Brenda Hampton made her reputation writing for comedies like Mad About You. Though she'd never done any family dramas, Hampton had an idea for a TV show that was unique for the naughty 90s, a show about a functional family. Ironically, Brenda pitched her idea to the king of titillating TV, Aaron Spelling.
And truthfully, I never even hoped to sell him a show. I was just so looking forward to meeting Aaron Spelling. Aaron Spelling's a legend.
In the meantime, the WB had actually approached the TV veteran to develop a family drama.
And so they asked me to meet with her, and I said, sure, I'll meet with her. Never think anything would happen. And then they told me that she has been doing comedy most of her career.
So when I met Aaron Spelling, I didn't want to make a fool of myself because the man has heard millions of TV pitches before.
She knew exactly, for some reason, we had never discussed it, the direction we wanted to go, which was a real family show, but this one should have a sense of humor. But we also wanted to do issues as much as we can.
From that meeting, Seventh Heaven was born. Brenda had the vision and the characters, while Spelling had the clout with the network.
To think that Seventh Heaven came from the same man who gave us Beverly Hills 90210 and Melrose Place is interesting. But, you know, Aaron Spelling's been around the block, and I guess his biggest talent is recognizing what is missing on television and filling that hole.
Seventh Heaven revolves around the daily trials of the Camden family. The head of this full house is Eric, who is a minister. Seventh Heaven refers to, or is symbolized by, the 7 members of his family: wife Annie and their 6 children: Matt, Mary, Lucy, Simon, Ruthie, and the twins, Sam and David.
Everyone is functional and they don't have some huge character flaw that you need for a comic device.
Veteran actor Stephen Collins stars as Eric, head of the Camden clan.
In the pilot episode, you didn't even know that my character, Eric Camden, was a minister until halfway through. I thought it'd be great to have a show that portrays a minister with a sense of humor and a sex life.
Catherine Hicks plays Annie Camden.
I did not want to play moms, because usually it's just, you know, eat your oatmeal, go to bed. But I read it, and, you know, Brenda Hampton's, it's good writing.
Barry Watson is Matt Camden, the eldest son.
He's a great guy, he loves his family, you know, he has his moments of, you know, being a spaz and freaking out over the really, I think, are some of the stupidest things in my opinion.
Jessica Biel stars as Mary Camden, a good girl gone bad, trying to get back on track.
Mary she started like a young kid, like 14 years old, started going through high school, started just kind of rebelling, kind of doing her own thing, having her own opinions, her own mind.
Then there are the younger siblings. Beverly Mitchell portrays Lucy Camden.
Well, the traits that Lucy and I are very similar in are her family values, her morals, and she's like her friends mean the world to her. Like she would drop anything for any of those people.
Simon Camden is played by David Gallagher.
I don't think he's too nice. You can never be too nice. But he's just kind of very cautious in a sense.
Mackenzie Rossman is the youngest daughter, Ruthie.
She likes to stick her nose in things, kind of like me. She's nosy, kind of like me.
With a talented cast, a skilled writer, and heavyweight Aaron Spelling behind the show, Seventh Heaven tried to make a statement. In the beginning, however, no one was listening.
When it premiered, nobody was really jumping up and down and screaming, "This is the greatest show on television." It was very quiet.
And then it just grew. It's, you know, you hear that old cliche, people talk about the show and they tell their friends, and their friends. It's crazy.
President of Entertainment for the WB Network, Jordan Levin.
We saw slow growth, and we believed creatively in the show. We liked what we were seeing. We liked the pilot. We liked where it was heading, and so we wanted to stick with it.
Smart move. During its first season, Seventh Heaven steadily crept up the ratings ladder. By the end of the 1996 season, the show's numbers doubled, and by 1999, the show reached #1 at the WB. Seventh Heaven didn't have the notoriety of the top shows on the major networks, but TV Guide took notice.
We chose Seventh Heaven as the best show you're not watching. We thought it's one of the few shows on TV that's safe for the whole family to watch.
When we come back, we'll show a side of the Camdens you've never seen, and why it's lonely at the top.
Seventh Heaven basically was just allowed to go on the air every week with very little said about it.
And later, the real-life drama that almost broke up the happy household.
Oh, it was totally clear from the beginning of the interview to the end that she was very unhappy on Seventh Heaven.
Welcome back to E's Inside Look at Seventh Heaven. By 1999, the family drama became the WB's #1 show. But the network struggled with the show's wholesome, unhip image.
While Buffy and Dawson's Creek got unbelievable amounts of promotion from the network, Seventh Heaven basically was just allowed to go on the air every week with very little said about it.
Family was a negative connotation. You said a family show and people presumed it was a old-fashioned show.
But the network stuck with its little family show, and the strategies paid dividends.
The WB did a very smart thing, which they've continued for 6 years, which is they haven't moved us. You know, Monday nights at 8, I don't think there's a show on television that stayed in a time slot that long without moving.
Another reason for Seventh's success was due to smart casting choices made by Aaron Spelling and creator Brenda Hampton.
Stephen Collins I wanted because I think he's very handsome and sexy, and that would make the role of the minister more interesting. And I had seen Catherine Hicks play Marilyn Monroe, and I thought she should be sexy too. So I admired their talent, but also because I thought they were very appealing to an audience.
I think I was actually one of the first people cast, and I think I really liked about the whole way the family kind of worked together and the way the relationships were with each other. And I think that's what really kind of like drew me to the show.
When casting for Mary Camden, it was about having the right look.
Jessica Biel had never done anything, I think, other than a commercial before she came here. And I wanted an athlete, and Jessie Biel is an athlete. Perfect for the role.
You're not canceling on me. Tell me you're not canceling on me.
I have to. Wilson needs me to babysit.
I can't believe this. I can't believe my own sister would betray me like this.
Beverly Mitchell had a feeling she wasn't Hampton's top choice for the role of Lucy.
I don't think they liked me at first. My agent persevered and was like, you know, you got to see her again, see her one more time. So I went back in, and they loved me, and from then on I went to many, many auditions. Then I got the part.
David Gallagher remembers the auditioning process for Seventh Heaven.
It was pretty much like any other deal. It was auditioning. You know, they go in the first time, and there's millions of kids trying out.
He came in to read. I recognized him from some film he had done, and he's just terrific.
I wonder why we never kept the door open when Matt was living here.
Maybe Matt kept the door closed on purpose. Maybe he was hiding E.T. in his closet or a big alien under his bed.
Mackenzie Rossman needed more than a cute face to play Ruthie.
Fortunately with Mac, she's smart. We tried not to make her precocious in the beginning because I really hate that. I hate to hear a line out of a kid on TV that's way too smart for that kid. But you can write as smart as you want because that's a very intelligent young woman.
With the cast in place, Brenda Hampton began to craft her vision of what the show would cover every week.
We do issues, but we never start with the issue. So this started with a story, and that's where we start all the episodes.
Like the pilot episode, which introduced the Camdens and a boy's love for a dog.
Dear God, thank you for this food. And if there really is a God, God, I know you'll find a way to get me that dog I've been wanting. Amen. What?
Well, first of all, let me assure you there really is a God, and secondly, congratulations on going over our heads to get what you want. Good luck. We never preach at the audience. So and I could tell from talking to Brenda, she wasn't going to go in that direction. On the plus side, I thought it'd be great to have a show that portrays a minister with a sense of humor.
That wasn't always Stephen Collins' point of view. The versatile actor performed on stage, in TV, and movies since 1968. But when first approached to play Reverend Camden, Collins didn't sign on right away.
We got Stephen on the last day before shooting. We were shooting the next day before he would agree to do it. And he wondered whether he should play a minister on television. And luckily for us, his wife asked to read the script, and she read the script and loved it and said, "You're doing it."
It just touched me very deeply as a dad in real life. It just was all about the problems and the emotional life of being a father.
Collins became a father figure to members of the cast.
Stephen in particular, probably out of all the cast members, has really reached me the most, just because he's very, very intelligent. He's very, very well spoken. You know, he has a great sense of humor. And, you know, you hang out with him, you have a good time, and you always learn something.
Collins also added director to his resume when he got the chance to direct an episode of Seventh Heaven in 1998.
He's really good. Yeah, you know, he's very humble because he's new to it. So he's been really nice, and of course he's an actor, so he works with the actors a lot. You know, he knows the characters so well that it's just very comfortable.
When he's not portraying a man of the cloth, Collins helps out his wife, actress Faye Grant, in her interior design business.
Come inside and meet the boss. When people walk in Faye Grant home, I've seen this, they come in and they go, ooh.
They walk in the door and they go, where am I? Am I in the right? Oh my God.
It's wonderful. But that happens as a response to things that are beautiful put together in a beautiful way. That's what she knows how to do. My involvement is, honey, could you move the table 3 feet over there? And I'll say, well, what about, and she'll just move it 3 feet over there. But you know, it might just, Stephen, just move the table.
So he just does what I say?
Basically.
Actress Catherine Hicks has enjoyed an impressive career of her own. Catherine moved to New York City in 1976 and 2 days later landed a role on the soap opera Ryan's Hope. Aaron Spelling liked her combination of wholesome beauty and classic training.
The only person we thought of, we'd worked with her before, adored her, and she is the mother.
Catherine gladly took on the role of a modern woman who left her career behind to be a stay-at-home mom.
When I first took the job, I realized our country now is full of Annie Camdens. They're literally lawyers and doctors who gave it up. They did it when the kid was 3 and 4, but they are staying home to raise the family. I'm proud to play Annie.
You know, we push each other. Sometimes when a director might be a little more easily satisfied, she'll look at me and say, do another one, because she knows I can do it better. She's a great partner, you know. She hits the ball back as hard as anybody's going to hit it, and I love it.
Up next, we'll turn our attention to the young men of the house and their emergence as Hollywood's new hotties. Welcome back to E's Look Inside Seventh Heaven. Barry Watson's character Matt is every parent's dream. He's kind, considerate, and there's nothing he wouldn't do for his family.
A lot of people want my character to just toughen up a bit. You know, a lot of people think my character is kind of a weenie. And they're like, you know, why doesn't Matt get it? They kind of want to shake my character sometimes and tell him to wake up, you know, and not let people sometimes take advantage of him as much.
But the real Watson is nothing like his soft-spoken, sometimes naive alter ego.
I think I'm a little more with it than Matt. Yeah, Matt's definitely flighty. I wish he wasn't like that all the time. I tried to, and it's hard to do sometimes. It's just trying to pump his life up a little bit more and, you know, just add something to him that I've somehow never really found in the scripts.
And Watson certainly doesn't have Matt's record in the romance department either.
Why did I break up with Cheryl and Heather and Shauna and every other great woman I've ever been out with?
See, I'm not like that. You can only fall in love, you know, maybe a couple times in your life, and Matt he hasn't got it yet. I don't know why. So, come on, Matt, you know, you can't, you know, feel like you're in love every time you meet a girl, but he does. You know, he's a sucker.
Castmates have much kinder things to say about Barry.
Barry was like this hot older guy who was just so hot, you know. We just had such a crush on him.
I'm hoping to have a date with Destiny.
Barry Watson is a good-looking young guy. The audience of this show is the exact audience that everyone in Hollywood is dying to attract. So that makes Barry a very, very hot commodity.
Before landing on Hollywood's It List, this small-town Michigan native moved by himself to Los Angeles at age 15. A small role on the soap Days of Our Lives followed. From there, Watson worked odd jobs until he was introduced to Aaron Spelling while hanging by the pool one day with Spelling's daughter, Tori, star of Beverly Hills 90210. Barry later auditioned and landed a role on the Spelling series Malibu Shores. Malibu Shores was quickly washed up, but Barry's career wasn't.
They asked me to read for this part, and I read it was for a minister's son, and I actually didn't think that I was right for it at all.
Fortunately for Barry, Aaron Spelling and show creator Brenda Hampton disagreed. Since landing the role of Matt Camden, Watson's charisma and good looks have led to roles in movies such as Teaching Mrs. Tingle and Sorority Boys.
I don't really realize that I'm actually working. I think of it as some weird dream I'm having, and they give me Monopoly money I get to play with for a while. Fortunately for myself, I don't take myself very seriously. I really can't.
And that's just fine with Barry's co-stars.
Barry makes me laugh. You know, I don't know, he reminds me a lot of me at that age, and he's a really good guy.
Barry will, out of nowhere, he'll just grab me and wrestle me to the ground and, you know, give me a noogie or give me a wedgie or just push me or whatever, you know, just do the older brother things.
Hopefully I've been a great example for him on the show. Hopefully I've taught him everything I know, and, you know, he'll be able to handle it all right.
David Gallagher has been managing it just fine. He's enjoyed playing Matt's younger brother, Simon Camden. Gallagher knew right away Simon was the role for him.
I'm very attracted to things that are different, so when I found out that this is something that hasn't really been done before a whole lot, you know, it's something that wasn't out at the time, it appealed a lot.
Here they are.
My biggest episode that I've ever had to do was the Holocaust episode. I, previous to the episode, had no knowledge of the Holocaust. I had heard it, you know, it was just a word to me.
My report is on the Holocaust. An estimated 11 million people were murdered as a direct result of measures taken against them by Hitler. And almost 6 million of those people were Jews. My friend, Mrs. Kurgis, was just one of those Jewish people who was put into a Nazi concentration camp.
That's what really impacts you. I just realized that this is how they treated people, you know, just like this. It was something that touched me.
David Gallagher is a veteran actor who's been in the business since he was a year old. After appearing in print ads and commercials, the actor took to the stage, television, and film.
When I was 8 years old, I did a movie with John Travolta called Look Who's Talking Now. And then I did a movie with John Travolta again when I was 10 called Phenomenon.
A few years later, David made a lasting impression on his current boss.
One of the first things I said when I walked in was, "Which one of you are Aaron Spelling?" So I could say hello. And they all found that very funny. And then he said, "You know, it's me." And I went up, I shook his hand. I said, "It's nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you."
He's delightful. He's He's amazing. This kid's, wait, years from now, you'll hear about David Gallagher.
David's courting teen idol status now, but if there's a downside to being cast as Simon Camden, it's trying to shed his little boy image.
It's kind of funny. It's always been that kind of strange thing that, you know, these people are watching me, you know, grow up. But in a kind of in a way they're not, you know, because what they are doing is they're watching Simon grow up.
I've watched a young man go from a little boy to a thick, I mean, he's, you know, a guy.
With some very grown-up toys.
I love cars. Cars are my thing, you know. It's just, I think a car says a lot about a guy. And I guess I have pretty expensive tastes in cars, but I don't know, I just appreciate them. I think they're great pieces of equipment. They're awesome.
As Gallagher matures, he's giving co-star Barry Watson some competition in the leading man department.
David Gallagher, he's a big heartthrob on the show now. He's big.
I took him to the Glendale Mall. We had to leave the mall because we were starting to get a large group of giggling girls following us, and it got to be a little scary. So we ran out to the car, and there were a lot of girls following us.
They just want this piece. You know, I've had people, you know, like grab at me, like try to like walk by me and like grab me and like keep going.